Hello, everyone. My name is Ronel Gulimlim, and today I would like to share about corporate social work, why business needs to hire a social worker. Give a small introduction about myself. I'm a graduate of Bachelor of Science in Social Work in Bicol University. I have 25 years of social work practice, mostly in NGO, located in international and local setting, as well as I was involved in different corporate setting in the likes of GMA Kapuso Foundation, Como Foundation based in Singapore, and the Laos Group of Companies based in Central Luzon. And currently, I am working as the foundation manager of the Vidas Foundation Incorporated, the corporate foundation of the Vidas Hotel and Casino. So allow me to give a glimpse of what is business. What's the importance of business in our society? They are very important because they are the essential drivers of our economy. Kapag ang isang company nag-hire ng isang empleyado, the employees have the purchasing power through their monthly income, to get basic services, goods, and supplies. That is why it is the drivers of our economy. Lately, business are also adhering to uh, higher standards of doing business, particularly adopting and institutionalizing their own corporate social responsibility. Alam naman natin lahat, parating po natin naririnig kung ano itong CSR. Pero allow me to give a review. CSR is a way to encourage business firms to perform in a manner appropriate to the desires of the stakeholders, thus causing them to act responsibly for the benefit of the business and society through creating a sustainable social, environmental, and economic development that could in turn gain a positive image and reputation. So it encompasses not only the profit side, but also being responsible in their workplace, in their social contribution into the community and to the natural environment, as well as helping the economic of the performance of the community where they are into. So, a bit of a trivia. Did you know that industrial or corporate social work existed prior to the professionalization of the social work profession in the Philippines? Allow me to introduce to you this woman. In 1925, she finished master's in social work in New York, and before World War II erupted, she came to the Philippines and worked as an industrial social worker with factories in Quiapo, Manila. Nakita niya yung mga dehumanized situation of working women in the Quiapo factories, which prompted her to organize the women and engage the management, to help out, address basic issues like they set up daycare centers sa mga nanay na or mga women workers na hindi nila maiwan yung kanilang mga anak. They set up a soup kitchen and provided benches for women during lunch breaks and many more. Ladies and gentlemen, allow me to introduce to you Josefa Llanes Escoda. She is an educator, social worker, civic leader, and a corporate social worker practitioner back then. And kaya I'm encouraging everyone that whenever you hold that 1,000 peso bill, I want you to feel proud that we have Josefa Llanes Escoda, our very own social worker, printed in that bill. And I hope that you are proud and remember her works as well as a professional social worker. 20 years ago, ang CSR po ay was initiated to do charity works or philanthropic works. They are run by the marketing professionals and of the company, or sometimes the HR personnels. They involve in collecting money, raising money, and organizing volunteers for a local community. And that was good. Malaking tulong din po itong setting na to. However, the problem is the focus was not anymore geared towards helping. It's really becoming a dole-out way of giving. It is not sustainable, and it is mostly influenced for publicity stunt. Today, the increasing importance of corporate social responsibility or CSR is spreading in great proportion. Private and business sectors are seeing the value, importance, and impact of starting their CSR initiatives, some of which formalizes their way of giving back to community or society by setting up their own non-profit or corporate foundations. The primary mission of business is to increase its bottom line, satisfy the stakeholders, sustain its operation, and contribute to society. These efforts that companies undertake to make a positive social impact and act in an ethical manner are what motivates them to invest significantly in their CSR programs. And also, as a way of involvement, they are aligning their corporate social responsibility with that of the United Nations Sustainable Development Goals. Alam naman po natin itong lahat. So, nakaangkla ang kanilang mga programa dito sa SDG goals na ito. So, ano yung current scenario ng ating CSR? Ang CSR po ay nag-elevate na from the CSR 1.0 na philanthropic, risk-based, image-driven, specialized, standardized, and marginal to a CSR 2.0 wherein it is now coined as corporate sustainability and responsibility, meaning that the CSR programs are more collaborative, reward-based, performance-driven, or impact-driven, integrated, diversified, scalable, and sustainable, and it can also be a global. So, to cut it short, ladies and gentlemen, may impact po ang CSR sa business. You know why? Because it attracts customers. It enhances the brand of the company. It increases the potential of the recruitment department to have more applicants because, applicants are looking for a company that also gives back to society. And it's also a way of retaining the employees to the company and also achieving recognition that the company is doing something, to address social issues. So allow me to share, just a brief background again. Alam naman natin po ang definition ng social work profession. So again, based on the IFSW definition, social work is a practice-based profession that promotes social change and development, social cohesion, and the empowerment and liberation of people, which possess and abides by the principles of social justice, human rights, collective responsibility, and respect for diversities. These are central to the social work profession. Simple lang ang mission ng ating profession: enhance human well-being, help basic needs, and empowerment of the vulnerable sectors. So, areas of social work practice, marami, ang dami. Kaya napaka-unique po ng ating profession. May government setting, may medical, may court, may academe, may community, may correctional, may substance abuse. And nakakatuwa po dahil out of the Philippine Association of Social Workers na PASWI, there are also other specialized association of social workers, like the NASWAY, AMSWAPI, ALSWADOPI, and ADSWI. But however, for industrial corporate social work, there is none, and the rest of other social work settings. Now, allow me to share some impacts or stats. Don't you know that 61% of respondents ng mga applicants, they would prefer to work in a socially inclined companies? Don't you know that in a research done, 78% of the respondents said that companies should be involved in addressing social issues. So ladies and gentlemen, CSR is an essential framework in every business. Companies with CSR translate into increased customer loyalty, job satisfaction for employees, resulting to increased productivity, and it adds to the company's bottom line. Don't you know that companies are now hiring social workers? In the United States alone, Wells Fargo, they would hire social workers as life coaches. Google would hire social workers as social policy review specialists. Some they would hire as community needs assessment social worker, as crisis managers, training, wellness, and employee welfare. In the Philippines, we all know ABS-CBN as a corporation. They have Bantay Bata and ABS-CBN Foundation, and they hire social workers and community organizers. Cherry Mobile, they have the MSN Foundation. They have directors, program coordinators, and advocacy specialists. Probably you would know Miss Red Peñaflor. She is part of the Cherry Mobile or the MSN Foundation. And also Widas Hotel and Casino, they have the Widas Foundation, and they have the foundation manager as the social worker as well. So allow me to share what I do in the corporation or the company or to the foundation. Since the beginning, I was already hired by the company. So I ensured that the corporate foundation is in compliance with all the government entities. We develop the program, and then we implement and conduct evaluation, documentation, and reporting. So in compliance, we ensure that we are registered and licensed under the DSWD Central Luzon, and we are an active member of the AppsNet. We also, since we are based in Clark, also PCNC and Department of Health. So after that, we identified what are the values of the company, the history, and what is the core business model. And then, of course, we need to identify who is the client, who are the clients. And there are two, the internal and the external stakeholders. We have the owners and the leaders and the employees that represents the internal, and the external would be the customers, the suppliers, the community, the society, the employees even of our companies, the families rather, government and other shareholders. Because as a social worker, as a CSR practitioner, I need to know what kind of programs or how can we develop programs to each of these sectors of clients. What are the area of operation, funding, and social development plan? So since I am a social worker, I introduced to them the focus areas wherein the foundation can be of service. And we identified health, environment, education, cultural heritage, community development, volunteer development, networking, and community service. Allow me to share kung ano yung mga ginawa namin so far. In terms of health, we initiated a assistive device donation through wheelchair to the PWD sector of Pampanga. We also donated a unique, modern, complete ambulance to the Capas, Tarlac. We also renovated and enhanced the Candaba Infirmary Hospital. We also provided the disaster relief assistance during the Taal eruption and also in different disasters that happened here in Central Luzon. During the pandemic, we also donated to the different district hospitals in Pampanga with PPEs and other instruments needed by the hospitals. We also donated food supplies to the local government units, 6 of them actually. For environment, we have adopted this community-based tree planting. We wanted to go beyond just planting trees, but we are also organizing the community, identifying their needs, what are the resources, and also leveraging different programs and services that can be of service. For education, we have this signature project. We call it Adopt a Library project. So for schools, public schools that don't have a dedicated library, we will donate a 40-footer container van library complete with books, tables, chairs, and computers. But if they have, we will also renovate and upgrade their existing library. And last but not the least would be under education is we would like to address the issues of other communities or barangays that they don't have any barangay daycare. So we are going to launch our first ever child development center to be located in Florida Blanca, Pampanga. For cultural heritage, we also donated to Angeles City the Center for Kapampangan Cultural Heritage Center. And as of the moment, we are in the process of developing the Abacan Loop Bridge to become the artist hub. Anything to do to the sustainability, promotion, and protection of the Kapampangan culture. For community development, whenever we do implement a program, we always engage the community, the local government, the sectors, the different sectors to discuss the program, to identify the needs and assess what are the gaps and identify different resources and be able to come up with a basic plan. For volunteer development, we engage the different employees of the Vidas Hotel and Casino and also the Marriott employees to do volunteer work. So whenever we celebrate the anniversary of the company, we go out to our adopted communities and we do different programs. And whenever there's a disaster relief assistance program, we always engage our employees, to be part of the repacking and the distribution as well. In order to make it sustainable, we engage our employees to do a learning academy program wherein they would do a half day read along session. They also do arts and crafts and structured learning exercises to engage the children. Whenever we do networking, we actively play our role, as a resource and also share different programs and opportunities to the different sectors, especially with the ABSNet, both in the provincial and regional level. We also reach out to the different communities, even tourist police unit. We saw their need and we donated a 20-footer container van office for them. And also, as a way of giving back to the social work profession, we forged a partnership, MOA, with the Don Honorio Ventura State University, wherein social work students can come to our foundation to learn about the social work practice in the corporate setting. And for program process, we do needs assessment, and after which we develop the program, implement the program, we monitor and evaluate the program, documentation and reporting, and then social marketing. So it's very important. These are all skills that every social worker who would like to be part of this setting must possess or must master. All right, and what are the government rules in reference to what we're talking about? There is a DSWD Memorandum Circular number 17, series of 2018, wherein it says two important things. Number one, all non-profit, non-government, such as CSO, PO, or even corporate foundations, especially foundations, they must be licensed, registered, and accredited by the DSWD. And a social worker must be hired by them before even starting their organization. So that's one area that we need to know. And hopefully we can lobby with the Senate and the Congress, to pass a law that encourages institutionalizing the CSR program of businesses and for hiring social workers as well. So, what are the realizations? Companies around the world, including the Philippines, are starting to realize the value of social workers and the transferable skills they can bring to the workplace. They can do workplace equity, work-life balance, diversity and inclusion, employee assistance, community engagement, and the CSR. The roles of the social worker in this setting can be an executive director, a manager, a human resource specialist, coaching and counselor, community organizer or developmental worker, advocate worker, program or project coordinator, employee welfare officer, or employee assistant program officer, and CSR. What are the skills that must that must have for a social worker to excel in this setting. Skills in human behavior, interviewing, counseling, and group dynamics, program and project development, public relations, community organizing, program or project coordinating, employee engagement, and many more. In conclusion, business are increasingly realizing the importance of a holistic focus on people, planet, and profit, wherein sustainable development is now being embraced by all companies. They are beginning to understand the significance of contributing to the community that supports them and how this can affect their long term growth and success. In fact, most corporate social responsibility efforts are in areas traditionally supported by social work, including community development, public safety, education, public health, and diversity. So, why business should hire social workers? Because they can become catalyst for companies' efforts to give back in their communities and workforces. As more companies and nonprofits hire social workers, it's beneficial for all involved. Social workers emphasizes on diversity, safety, education, health, relationship building, and community support, which is directly in line with corporate initiatives in these areas. And therefore, adding social workers to the workforce benefits everyone, both in the company and in the community. Why business should hire social workers? Because social workers possess the necessary skills, knowledge, and exposure to implement CSR and social development frameworks. Social workers can do many methodologies like casework, group work, and community organizing. And social workers can develop, implement, facilitate, analyze, and evaluate programs, services, and initiatives to both external and internal clients of the company. What are the areas of opportunities? Lately, mas nakafocus yung mga social workers sa implementation of their CSR programs. However, there is also a big opportunity wherein social workers can be part in employee welfare development through implementation of different employee welfare assistance programs or projects, such as counseling, work-life balance, mental health, conflict resolution, helping build teams, deal with substance abuse, domestic violence, marital relationship issues, because all of these affects employee performance. If an employee is performing well, can handle stress, can manage work-life balance, then he can perform well. So I'm happy to announce also that different social workers in the corporate setting are now organizing themselves, to build and lobby and develop the corporate social work practice, to develop innovative, dynamic, inclusive, and relevant corporate social work practice that would benefit all, and to unite all registered social workers who belong in the corporate setting. So if you are a social worker, in the corporate setting, please come and join us and be one of us. Let's work out together. Let's learn from one another. Let's institutionalize our setting, and together we can do great work. So with that, I would like to end my presentation, and I hope you were able to learn something. You can contact me at ronel.culimlim@gmail.com, or you can also email corporate.socialworkers.ph@gmail.com. And please do check us out in Facebook. Just search the Corporate Social Workers PH and like us so that you can be informed of what's happening in our sector as well. With that, thank you so much and good day.